Rachel's bag of shit. Hello, I'm Cathy.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Oda. And welcome to Live Book Club. Yeah. Da, da.
We have now reached the midway point of 2024.
Woo, 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 woo.
All is excited about that. How do you feel about that?
I feel a bit terrified, to be honest.
Yeah.
A blink and you'll miss it this year.
This year is already going by very quickly, and we thought the midway point is a good chance to review how we are doing with our reading goals. So at the beginning, don't panic yet. At the beginning of the year, we had a video sharing our reading goals for the year. We'll link it in the description below, and we're going to do a little review and see how we're getting on. I think we each had 3 goals, is that right? Okay. Should I go first or do you want to go first?
You can go first.
Okay, go first. My first reading goal was to read fewer books and have more fun. And that was because for like the last couple of years I've been studying English literature, and then I did a huge big reading marathon to get my TBR down to 0. And then I was a bit exhausted. So my reading goal for 2024 was to read fewer books and have more fun and just kind of relax with my reading a bit. So how I'm doing with that is I checked how many books I've read. So in 2023, I read 75 books. So far, in 2024, I've read 32 books, which isn't that much less. if I read the same again for the next 6 months,
Slightly less.
I'll have read 10 fewer books than last year. So I think that's a win. But I think the key thing is that I have DNF'd loads of books. So I've picked up a lot more books than I've finished. So yeah, I think I'm on track with this goal, and I'm having quite a fun reading year so far. I've read a lot of books that I've really enjoyed, and I've not forced myself to read books that I'm not having fun with. So go me! This is working out well.
I'm very happy for you. My first goal is one that I've had for a few years. It was to read 52 books a year, which I haven't managed yet in the 3 years that I've been trying to do this. But I am a very stubborn woman and will continue to persist until I achieve. No matter how long it takes me. So
This is the ambition.
at this point in the year, I should be at like 25, 26 books. I was counting up how many books I've read. I've read 15 books, and I have 5 that I'm in the process of reading. So I'm a little bit behind schedule. Now I am also reading a lot of play scripts, but I'm not counting them towards my total. So if I was including my total in the plays in the total, then I would be on track. But
I would count plays.
Nah. So what I'm doing on Goodreads, it's 52. On the other one, Storygraph, I've set it to 80, and that's including play scripts.
Okay.
So I don't know why I've made
You're
that.
just making your life more difficult
Well,
for yourself.
Here's what it is. So I'm slightly behind on that. I'm not feeling too badly about it because I'm planning to do the Fable series.
Yeah.
And they're not going to take me ages to read. So I should be able to like
Catch up a bit.
So I'm feeling okay about where I'm at with that one. It's salvageable.
Yeah, and also I feel like I count it as reading a book if I read a play.
We're different people though, Cathy. We're different people.
So I think you should be impressed with yourself then.
I am impressed with myself.
Yeah.
I've done okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my monthly totals. I read 1 book in April. That's not that, and it was an audio book.
I just realised something. Your goal is to read less, and your goal is to read more.
Yeah.
I know, we have very different goals. Do you know, I think in March I just read 3 books, and again I think one of them was an audible one as well. Audiobooks are great.
I agree.
Saving grace.
But yeah, so I'm at this point in the year, I'm feeling like I can still achieve that goal. That's fine. What's your second goal?
My second goal was to make every 3rd book I read a non-fiction book. So I checked. I have read 5 non-fiction books this year, which isn't every 3rd book. I think if it was every 3rd book, it would be 10, roughly.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've not done that. There's reasons. So part of the reason why I've not kept up with the non-fiction books is that I got given a load of books for Christmas. And because I'm trying to keep my TBR to 0, after a bit that stressed me out. So I just read through my TBR like within a month, and they didn't have any non-fiction books.
And you've still read some non-fiction.
Yeah, so I've nearly read a non-fiction book every month.
There's still a little bit left of June, so you could read a non-fiction book in June, and then you'd be sort of on track.
Yeah, and I've picked up a few non-fiction books that I ended up DNFing. So I've started a non-fiction book roughly every third.
You've had the intention, you're wanting to have more fun.
Yeah.
So you can't fault yourself for trying to read non-fiction books and not vibing with them.
And you'll see in my June reading journal, I started a non-fiction book and I got really mad at it. I've like not finished it and I got so cross.
That'll come out next week.
Yeah, so keep your eye out for me getting very cross to non-fiction book. So yeah, I get that. You know, I'd say like I'm doing kind of alright, but I want to keep on going and read more non-fiction books this year. What was your next goal?
My next goal was so in preparation for Stormlight Archive number 5, which is being released on the 6th of December. I have a very long TBR, which we've covered on the channel before, and
It's gonna be okay.
I had every intent. My goal for the year was to get that down, read lots of books on my TBR, and not buy any more books to add to it. And so at this point, halfway through the year, the TBR video that I filmed that had like over 100 books on it, I haven't read any of those books. Haven't read any of those books. And I haven't bought that many books. I've only bought 5 books, so that's not even a book a month. So I'm quite proud of myself for that.
Yeah.
But also, I haven't read any of my original TBR. I'm just reading other people's books or library books, and that's not helping me lower the stakes for buying Wind and Truth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Feeling not very good about that.
Okay.
So I've made myself a little prop that I'm going to wear the remainder of the video.
You what?
Cathy, what's your third goal?
Hang on, just in case it doesn't come on the camera. Rachel's bag says, Rachel's bag of shame. This is ridiculous. So whilst Rachel is in the bag of shame, I'll tell you about my third goal, which was to do a deep dive on Tolkien. I feel so my deep dive on Tolkien was to read a lot of Tolkien books. So I've read a biography of Tolkien, I've reread Lord of the Rings, I read Tree and Leaf, which was like a collection of his non-fiction writings, and I'm listening to The Silmarillion. Most of that has gone brilliantly. The Silmarillion is like, I'm slogging through it.
I was rewatching our goal video. You did say you weren't even going to try and read that, so I'm proud of you for attempting it.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so The Silmarillion is I'm not enjoying it, but I've kind of got a bit of a Rachel attitude towards it now, where like, I'm going to make myself do it. Thank you. I'm going to get through it.
And take the high five.
Ola wants to... Rachel, oh.
What's happening?
I thought you were going to give Ola a high five.
I thought I was going to give all
Okay, there you go. Hey! Okay. I also should add in that I didn't set this as a full goal, but I said that this year I wanted to do more library hauls and reread more books. And I've done okay with that. I've done 2 trips to the library and got out 6 books each time. And I have reread 6 books this year that I already own, so that's like 1 a month. So I'm quite pleased with that. I've been visiting the library more and I've been rereading my current books. Can we take off the bag of shame now? She's back!
I'm back. My third goal of the year was to have a more varied reading experience, and it's not going great. But I think my issue is that I haven't read enough books. Like I've read 15 books. That's it.
Yeah.
So that there's not a lot of room for variation in there. So I've read, I couldn't count for you, but I've read some romance books, I've read some fantasy books, I've read a non-fiction book, and I've read some children's books, and I've read some comic books. So there's sort of a variation.
Well,
I've read a non-fiction book. I'm dead proud of myself for that.
So that's 5 genres over 15 books.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Okay. And again, like I'm planning to read more books in the second half of the year than I did in
Yeah.
the first half of the year, so there should be more room for variation there.
Do we, now that we're at the midway point, is there anything about your goals or your strategy that you want to change?
Do you know me at all?
Yeah, I knew this question was going to be a non-starter. I did know that, but I felt obliged.
I will be changing nothing. I will be keeping my goals, and if I don't meet them, then I'll just feel bad about myself at the end of the year. What about you? Are you adapting your goals? Because your goal is to have more fun. So what do you need to change about your goals to make it that you have a more fun reading year?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh, while you think about that, when you mentioned going to the library in our original video, I seconded that, and I have done that. I got myself a new library card so that I have an active library card. I have been to the I think I've done 2 library trips. Well, if you watch one of my reading vlog videos, you'll know that I made 4 trips to the library in the same month looking for a specific book, and I couldn't find it. But I'm counting that as one library trip.
Yeah.
And then I made another library trip later on in the year to get the second book that I was after. So, you know, I've met that goal.
Yeah.
Self 5. Anyway, sorry, how can you adapt your ideas to make them more achievable?
How can I get more fun?
By wearing Rachel's bag of shame.
I'm wearing Rachel's bag of shame. I don't want to wear the bag of shame.
You don't need to wear the bag of shame.
Confiscated. And do you know, I think what I'm looking forward to more now is because I had like my leftover Christmas TBR, and I've got that kind of back down, more manageable. I'm looking forward to doing more spontaneous book shopping, and seeing what's out there and picking stuff up. And I'm paying closer attention, or I want to pay close attention to books that I see on Instagram or YouTube, and keep a better list, so that when I find them out in the world, that I'll read them, or maybe even just go and order them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why I think I must find books naturally before I can own them.
Yeah.
I do. I very rarely like think, oh yeah, I want that book, I'm gonna go and order it and buy it. I tend to like wait for it to find me. So maybe I'll do less of that and more seeking out the books I actually do want to read.
Oh.
What about you? Any strategies for this?
No.
No.
There you have it. Some of us are succeeding more in our reading goals than others. But I think there are areas that we both need to work on. It's not just that Cathy is fully succeeding and I'm fully failing.
No.
Cathy has room for improvement.
Yeah, I could read more non-fiction books. There's more Tolkien out there to discover. I could finish the Silmarillion.
And I have been to the library.
I've been to the library too.
Why would you take that away from
I
me?
don't know. It's hard. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I just wanted to join in, like, yay, libraries.
Libraries.
I just wanted to join in the celebration about libraries.
Here's hoping for even better end of the year. Last 6 months.
And we've both been reading books. Like, that's the big
we
thing.
have both been reading, yes.
We've been reading books, and that's great.
We've both supported local libraries.
Yeah.
Fantastic. If you have set yourself a reading goal at this point in the year, let us know how you're getting on in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe. And we'll see you next week for our monthly reading journals.
Yay!
Bye!
Says everything is fine here.